Hello students, we are successfully completed competitive test 1 on sexual reproduction in flowering plants. So in this examination, test 1, competitive test 1, Supriya A, she scored 30 out of 30 marks. So and many of the students are performed well by getting 29, 28 and 27, and few students still they need to perform well. So please utilize the online platform properly, and it is not a problem to our college, it is a problem universally. Please try to understand. So today we are going to discuss about solutions of competitive test number 2. So the topic is human reproduction. Question number 31. Cryptorchidism is options 1. Non-descent of testis in scrotum. 2. Non-development of testis. 3. Removal of scrotum. 4. Breaking connection of vas deferens. So it is a direct conceptual question. We have this point in our notes, learning notes. So cryptorchidism is a non-descent of testis in scrotum. That is question number. That means option number 1 is the correct. So cryptorchidism is a non-descent of testis in scrotum. That is the correct answer. And now come to this last option, breaking connection of vas deferens. This is the concept belongs to sterilization method in the reproductive health. So it will breaking connection of vas deferens. It comes under sterilization method. Sterilization method in males. So you may remember that method is called as vasectomy. Vasectomy. So that means in that breaking, that means cut the vas deferens to prevent the movement of sperms. So, and the correct answer, cryptorchidism, is a non-descent of testis in scrotum. Question number 32. The gestation period refers to the period options 1. Between fertilization and birth. 2. Period of zygote development. 3. When lining of uterus is replaced. 4. Of development of secondary sexual characters. So once observe all the options, this fourth option of development of secondary sexual characters, it is takes place after puberty. So after sexual maturity, we can observe this development of secondary sexual characters by a female hormone, that is estrogen is responsible for the secondary sexual characters after sexual maturity. And when lining of uterus is replaced, so lining of uterus is replaced in every month, that is due to the menstrual cycle. We can observe that replacement or regeneration of the lining of uterus during menstrual cycle. This we can observe in menstrual cycle. And second option, that is of zygote development, and first option between fertilization and birth. So the question is, the gestation period refers to the period between fertilization, that means fusion of gametes, and till birth maturation is called as a gestation period. So this gestation period in these humans is around 9 months gestation period. So the correct answer for this question is option 1 is the correct answer. Question number 33. The immediate predecessors of spermatids are options 1. Spermatogonia, 2. Primary spermatocytes, 3. Secondary spermatocytes, 4. Sperm mother cells. So once comes to the a concept, that is spermatogenesis, formation of sperms. Spermatogenesis, that is a formation of sperms. So under this spermatogenesis, the sperm mother cells develop as the spermatogonia. Spermatogonia. This some of the spermatogonia develops their size and increases their number to the mitotic divisions, and that the spermatogonia differentiates to develop into the primary spermatocytes. Primary spermatocytes. So these primary spermatocytes undergo meiosis 1. Meiosis 1 to form secondary spermatocytes. Now, these secondary spermatocytes undergo meiosis 2 division. Meiosis 2 and form the spermatids. And these spermatids undergo spermiogenesis, that means transformation into sperms. So through spermiogenesis, this process is called as spermiogenesis, transformation of spermatids into sperms. So this is the entire process of spermatogenesis. So now the question is immediate predecessors of spermatids. Here predecessors means the stage before the spermatids. The stage before the spermatids is the secondary spermatocytes. So the correct answer is option 3 is the correct answer. Question number 34. The mammalian egg have options. 1. No yolk. 2. Little yolk. 3. Large amount of yolk. 4. Large amount of yolk concentrated at one pole. So here large amount of yolk concentrated at one pole. This condition we will call as telocentric. So this condition is telocentric, and large amount of yolk it is considered as the megalethal eggs or macrolethal egg, and little then it is called as microlethal egg, and new yolk, then this condition we will call as alethal egg. So in human beings, in mammals, or maybe in humans or mammalian egg, in mammals, the egg is alethal. That means negligible, or maybe yolk is absent. So the correct answer is no yolk is the correct answer for this option. And this large amount of yolk or large amount of yolk, that is macrolethal eggs, we can observe in reptiles, and birds are having this macrolethal eggs, but whereas mammals having no yolk in their eggs, such condition is called as alethal. So no yolk in mammalian egg. So option 1 is correct. Question number 35. Cells of Sertoli are found in options. 1. Islets of Langerhans and secrete glucagon. 2. Between the lumen outside the seminiferous tubule. 3. Testicular lobule of rabbit and nourish spermatozoons. 4. Ovary of rabbit and produce estrogen. So let's come to this. Cells of Sertoli are found in. So the cells of Sertoli found in testis. That is clear. So it is cells of Sertoli present in testis. It is present in testis. So that's why fourth option is not considered. Ovary is the female reproductive part. So that's why fourth one is not. Now come to first option, that is islets of Langerhans. So these islets of Langerhans are the endocrine cells in the pancreas. Endocrine cells in pancreas. So these endocrine cells of pancreas secretes the hormones. Secrete the hormones. So the pancreas secretes the hormones. That is two types of hormones it secretes. That is one is insulin, insulin, and second one is glucagon, glucagon. So the option given concept is correct, but it is not related to the reproductive part. It is a islets of Langerhans belongs to the endocrine glands. So the option 1 is also not considered for this question. So now come to the second and third options. So between the lumen outside the seminiferous tubules. And third option, testicular lobule of rabbit. Rabbit is a mammal and nourishes the spermatozoons. So now let's see this seminiferous testicular lobule. Each testis consists a testicular lobule. Each testicular lobule consists 1 to 3 seminiferous lobules. So these circles are the seminiferous lobules. These seminiferous lobules are lined with a cells. Lined with a cells. It is and they also consider germinal epithelium is lined on that, and some of the cells are considered as the Sertoli cells, which are present in the seminiferous tubules. Seminiferous tubules. And between these cells, that means this is the cell, the space present between these lobules, these places are called as interstitial spaces. Interstitial space. The cells present in this interstitial space are called as Leydig. Leydig cells are present. So now come to the second option, between the lumen outside the seminiferous tubules. So lumen means this is at the center space, it is called as the lumen. So outside the seminiferous tubules means this interstitial space is the outside the between the seminiferous tubules, interstitial space. There the cells are Leydig cells. So that's why the option 2 is also not correct. So then the correct answer, the testicular lobule of rabbit. Testicular lobule of rabbit. The Sertoli, cells of Sertoli are found in testicular lobule of rabbit and nourishes. The Sertoli cells are helpful for providing the nutrients. So the correct answer is option 3. Question number 36. Young girls at puberty begin to develop breast. This is an example of options. 1. Sexual growth. 2. Metamorphosis. 3. Appearance of primitive characters. 4. Artificial selection. So appearance of that breast is nothing but development of mammary glands is the indication of secondary sexual growth. So that's why the correct answer is option 1. So sexual growth, development of secondary sexual growth or characters. So development of breast is the secondary sexual character. So at the time of puberty, there is a more amount of estrogen secretion in the girls. Estrogen secretion. This estrogen is responsible for the development of that breast or maybe mammary glands. So sexual growth is the correct answer. Option 1 is the correct. Question number 37. Number of spermatozoa produced by a single primary spermatocytes. Options 1. 1 spermatozoa. Option 2. 2 spermatozoa. Option 3, 4 spermatozoa. Option 4, 8 spermatozoa. So let's see the spermatogenesis. So we are already known that spermatogenesis is nothing but formation of sperms. So during that spermatogonia, spermatogonia develops or differentiates to form primary spermatocytes, and these primary spermatocyte undergo meiosis, one division, to form two secondary spermatocytes. Secondary spermatocytes. Now, this secondary spermatocyte, each secondary spermatocyte undergo meiosis division. Each secondary spermatocyte undergo meiosis to division. So then it produces two. Each spermatocyte, secondary spermatocytes produce two spermatids. Two, each secondary spermatocyte produces two spermatids. Two spermatids. Now, these total number of spermatocytes after completion of meiosis 2 is 4 spermatids are present. Total 4. And each spermatid is develops into sperm. So total it become 4 sperms are produced. So from one primary spermatocyte, total 4 sperms are produced. So the correct answer is option 3. Question number 38. After ovulation in female, the collapsed ovarian follicle shrinks and becomes filled with the cells to form option 1, corpus luteum, 2, corpus albicans, 3, corpus callosum, 4, corpora atresia. The options. Let's see that. So after ovulation, so ovulation is nothing but release of ovum from ovarian follicle. So release of ovum, ovulation is nothing but ovulation. So it is defined as a release of ovum from ovarian follicle or maybe Graafian follicle. Graafian follicle is called as ovulation. So now after releasing ovum from the Graafian follicle, then this Graafian follicle is ruptured. So that ruptured Graafian follicle becomes shrink and form as a corpus luteum. It form as the ruptured Graafian follicle. Ruptured Graafian follicle. It form as the corpus luteum. and this corpus luteum produces the progesterone hormone. It is helpful for maintenance of the pregnancy. If it is the fertilization is not takes place, if no fertilization, no fertilization, then the Graafian follicle develops into corpus albicans. So in these two options are there, corpus luteum and corpus albicans. So corpus luteum is forms first. If fertilization does not takes place, then it become corpus albicans. So ovarian follicle shrinks and become filled with the cells to form. First it form as a corpus luteum, and if fertilization does not takes place, and it become corpus albicans. So the correct answer is option 1. And here corpus callosum, it is the uh, axons, a bundle of axons which connects the two hemispheres of the brain. Corpus callosum, it is complete odd one from these options. Corpus callosum, it is a bundle of axons which connects the two hemispheres, cerebral hemispheres of the forebrain. Question number 39. Ovulation in mammals is a process in which options 1. Egg is released from Graafian follicle. 2. Egg is fertilized in fallopian tube. 3. Unfertilized egg passes out of female's body. 4. Uterine endometrium is shed. So now ovulation is defined as a release of ovum from ovarian follicle or maybe Graafian follicle is called ovulation. So the correct answer is option 1 is the correct. Egg is released. Egg is nothing but ovum is released from the Graafian follicle. This Graafian follicle is also called as ovarian follicle. So this ovarian follicle is first observed by the scientist Graf. That's why it is named as a Graafian follicle. So now come to the third and fourth options here. Fertilized egg passes out of the female egg. Unfertilized egg passes out female's body, as well as the uterine endometrium is shed. These two are occurred at the time of menstrual cycle. These two occur at the time of menstrual cycle. So the correct ovulation is nothing but release of ovum or egg from Graafian follicle. Option 1 is correct answer. Question number 40. Seminal fluid consists of 1. Spermatozoa, 2. Spermatids, 3. Seminal plasma, 4. Semen. The correct answer is option 1. Only one, that means spermatozoa is present. Option 2. Only seminal plasma is present. Option 3. Spermatozoa and seminal plasma is present in seminal fluid. Option 4. Spermatozoa and spermatids are present in the seminal fluid. So now let's come to this. Already we discussed in previous slides. The spermatids are transformed into spermatozoa. That's why spermatids are not released from the testes. So it is not at all considered. Now come to the seminal fluid. Now here seminal plasma, it is released by the accessory glands in the male. So male accessory reproductive glands. Male accessory reproductive glands produces that seminal plasma. Seminal plasma is produced by the reproductive glands. So these reproductive glands are prostate gland, and another one is seminal vesicles, vesicles, and one more, it is Cowper's gland. Cowper's gland releases that seminal plasma. So this seminal plasma, it is provides the nourishment or nutrients to the spermatozoa in the female reproductive tract. So that means seminal fluid consists both seminal plasma released by reproductive glands as well as spermatozoa. Both are present. So the correct answer is option 3, that is spermatozoa and seminal plasma. Question number 41. Mature sperm are stored in the mature sperm are stored in the. So now we are already well known that sperms are produced in the seminiferous tubules. Seminiferous tubules. So in these seminiferous tubules produces the sperms, and these sperms comes out from the seminiferous tubules through through ducts. Through ducts. So the ducts are from this seminiferous tubule. Sperms first enters into the ureter testis. From this, the sperms enters into the vas efferentia. Enters into vas efferentia. From here, it is enter into highly coiled one that is called as epididymis. And then it goes to the vas deferens. So now in this, the spermatids epididymis is considered as the primary storehouse. Primary storehouse of sperms. And this vast difference is the secondary storehouse. In this epididymis, the sperms stay stored till it's attaining the maturity. So mature sperms are stored in the epididymis. That is correct option is 3. Seminiferous tubule sperms are produced. And here prostate gland and seminal vesicles. These two options, prostate gland and seminal vesicles, these are the accessory glands. Secretes the accessory glands which secretes the seminal plasma. Seminal plasma secretes by these two glands. So seminiferous tubules produces the sperms. So sperm, mature sperm stored in epididymis. This is the primary storehouse of the sperm. So the correct answer is option 3. Question number 42. How many mature eggs are typically produced by each ovary of a non-pregnant woman each year? Non-pregnant. So in non-pregnant woman, menstrual cycle is common. Menstrual cycle is common. So menstrual cycle is nothing but it is occurred every 28 days in alternate ovaries. Every 28 days. 28 days in alternate ovaries. So it takes place alternately. So this year. So for this, there are two ovaries are present. Two ovaries are present. So now first ovary, first 28 days, and second next month it takes place in the second ovary. So alternately it takes place. So that means each ovary undergo the production of ovum 6 times. Clear? 6 times. So that means every year each ovary produces 6 ova. Total 12 ova are present. And remember that here 28 days we are considering the menstrual cycle. So we know that every month having 30 days. So that means every month there is a remainder of 2 days into 12 months. That means another extra 24 days are there, no? So that's why the correct answer is 6 to 7 eggs or ova are produced. Not exactly 6. It may be sometime become 7 because of this reason. If it is exactly takes place in 28 days, every month 2 days are left. So 12 months into 2. You may have doubts, are February only 28 days. Then at least 22 days will be left now. So that's why approximately the number of 6 is confirmed, but sometimes it may 7 also. So that's why each ovary produces 6 to 7 ova. Each ovary. So the correct answer is option 1. Question number 43. The distal centriole gives attachment to the axial filament, but the proximal centriole helps in. So here options are 1. Swimming, 2. Cleavage of fertilized egg, 3. Provides energy, 4. Egg activation. So now it is clear that centriole, 2 centriole. The question is related to the human sperm. The question is related to human sperm. So in human sperm, there are 2 centrioles are present. Centrioles are 2 centrioles are present, and in these 2 centriole, one centriole it is called as a distal centriole. Distal centriole, and one more centriole it is called as a proximal centriole. Proximal centriole. So we are all very well known that the human sperm. Roughly, I'm drawing here. Don't get irritation by seeing this diagram. So it is the human sperm structure like this. So it is a cap-like structure that is called as acrosome, and it is a head, and it consists a large haploid nucleus, and this is the neck region and middle portion. So middle region having this part consists mitochondria, and this is the tail region. So what we are saying that there are two centrioles. One is present. That means the centriole which is present towards the nucleus side, this region towards the nucleus side, this region, it is called as proximal centriole. Proximal centriole, and it is present towards the middle piece, towards the nucleus, that is proximal, towards the middle piece, that we will call as the distal. So now the distal is helpful for, that means, attachment to the filament, that is it forms in the middle lamella in this tail region, and the centriole which is present towards the nucleus, that proximal centriole is helpful for the cell division. Centrioles form the spindle fibers during cell division. So the proximal centriole helps in the cleavage of fertilized egg, that means zygote. So the correct answer is option 2. Question number 44. The sperm becomes mature and fully motile in options 1. Reta testis, 2. Chorda epididymis, 3. Vas deferentia, 4. Seminal vesicle. So let's come to this option. Among these four options, odd one, it is not at all represent that. That is seminal vesicle. So seminal vesicle is the accessory gland. It is a gland. It secretes the seminal plasma. It is odd one. So remaining reta testis, chorda epididymis, and vas deferentia. These three are called as the accessory ducts. These are the ducts. So now we are already studied that reta testis, that means from seminiferous tubules, the sperms comes out through this reta testis. So from here it goes to the vas efferentia, then to the epididymis, epididymis, and then to the vas deferens or deferentia. Or this is these four we will call as the ducts, reproductive, accessory reproductive ducts. So now in this already we discussed this epididymis is considered as the primary storehouses of the sperms. In this epididymis, the sperms are mature and fully become motile. And here this epididymis having three regions, that is head region, middle region, and tail region we can consider. The head region is highly coiled and moderate, and it is less coiled in this tail region. The tail portion of this epididymis is called as cauda epididymis. When the sperms move towards this tail, this is a less coiled region of epididymis. The sperms become mature and fully motile and then enters into the vas deferentia. So the correct answer is cauda epididymis. Option 2 is the correct option. Question number 45. Probable fertility period of menstrual cycle, that is of 28 days, is from dash to dash day. That means from which day to which day we will consider as fertile period during this menstrual cycle. So we are all know that the first 5 days, 3 to 5 days, we will call as the menstrual phase. First phase is menstrual phase. Menstrual phase, it is 3 to 5 days. And next one is proliferative phase. It is from 6th day to 14th day. And ovulatory ovulatory phase, that is on 14th day. And next luteal phase from 15th to 28th. So these are the phases, we know that. So ovulatory phase means the ovum is released on this 14th day. So it is on 14th, release of ovum is takes place. So now fertility period is nothing but the fertilization is success at that time. That means the ovum lifespan is around 24 hours, one day, 24 hours. 14th it will release, that means it can survive up to 15th date. So that's why, as per this information, the nearest is that the fertility period, that is 13th day to 16th day, is considered as 13 to 16th day of that menstrual cycle is considered as a fertile period, because in some, due to some reasons, it may occur, ovulation is occurred earlier, or maybe 1 or 2 days it become delay. So that's why the fertility period is 13 to 16 days. So the correct option is 3. Question number 46. Epididymis is options 1. Network of sinuses between seminiferous tubules and vas efferentia. 2. Intermediate structure between reta testis and vas efferentia. 3. A long coiled tube between vas efferentia and vas deferentia. 4. Connection between vas deferens and seminal vesicles. So epididymis. So already we said that this epididymis is a accessory duct. So it is required ducts. So these ducts helpful to conduct sperms or spermatozoans. Conduct means to carry. So now epididymis, where it is, as per information given in the option, where it is located. So seminiferous tubule is the site of production of sperm is seminiferous tubules. seminiferous tubules. It is site of production of sperms. From here, this reta testis, then vas efferentia, then epididymis, and then vas deferens. So now epididymis, where it is present? It is present between the vas efferentia and vas deferens. Then check the options. A long coiled tube. Epididymis is highly coiled tube. The sperms are mature and reach to the motility stage in this, and it is a primary storehouse. Storehouse. So that's why it is present between the vas efferentia, between vas efferentia and vas deferens. So the correct answer is option 3. Question number 47. Chorionic gonadotrophin is secreted by options 1. Pituitary, 2. Ovary, 3. Placenta, 4. Uterus. So now here in this, uterus does not produce any hormones. So all these three remaining, pituitary, ovary and placenta, produces the hormones. So placenta is considered as the temporary endocrine gland. So now pituitary gland, we are all very well known that it produces several hormones. So that is for example LH, FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone. They are called as gonadotrophins, not chorionic gonadotrophins. And the next one, TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, ADH, antidiuretic hormone, ADH, and ACTH, adrenocorticotropic hormone, GH, growth hormone, and oxytocin, these and prolactin. These are the hormones secreted by the pituitary gland. And the ovary secretes or produces the hormones, that is estrogen and progesterone. This is by the ovary. Now placenta produces two main hormones, that is called as one is HCG, human chorionic gonadotropin, and second one is HPL, human placental lactogen, or the hormones. So the question is chorionic gonadotropin. It is secreted by human. Chorionic gonadotropin are produced by placenta. So correct option is 3. Question number 48. In mammals, the testis is posteriorly connected to the scrotal sac by an elastic cord called options 1. Spermatic cord, 2. Rachis, 3. Gubernaculum, 4. Ligament. So now let's see that spermatic cord. It is each testis is attached to the dorsal body of the abdominal cavity. So the spermatic cord is helpful to connect the body wall, dorsal body wall of the abdominal cavity, dorsal body wall. But here it is calling as the testis connected to the scrotal sac. So that we will call as gubernaculum. So gubernaculum is helpful to connect this testis to the scrotal sac. So the correct answer is option 3 is correct. But here the spermatic cord is also present in the testis, that is helpful for the to connect to the uh, abdominal cavity. the dorsal body wall of the abdominal cavity. Testis connects to the dorsal wall of abdominal cavity by spermatic cord. So gubernaculum is helpful to connect it to the scrotal sac. So the correct answer is option 3. So question number 49, which of these pairs is mismatched, not correctly matched? Option 1, interstitial cells, testosterone. 2, seminiferous tubules, sperm production. 3, vas differentia, seminal fluid production. 4, urethra, conducts sperm. So conducts means transport these sperms, urethra. So it is a correct one. Next, first come to the first option, interstitial cells. They are also called as Leydig cells. So they produce the gonadotrophin, that means androgen hormones, that is testosterone. It is correct. And seminiferous tubules are the primary structural and functional units of testis because they produce the sperms. It is also a correct. So the remaining vas differentia, it is vas differentia is the secondary storehouse of sperm. It is secondary storehouse of sperms. So seminal fluid, it is produced by the glands, accessory reproductive glands. So that glands already we know three types, that is Cowper's gland, Cowper's, seminal vesicles, and the third one it is a prostate gland. They produce that prostate gland. They produce the seminal fluid, but not vas differentia. So that's why the mismatched one, third one, vas differentia. So correct option is 3. Question number 50. The ability of one embryonic tissue to influence the growth and development of another tissue is called or is termed. It is a direct answer. It is a definition of induction. So induction is defined as the ability of one embryonic tissue to influence the growth and development of another tissue is termed as induction. So the correct answer for this question is 4, option 4. And morphogenesis means we can observe that metamorphosis, morphological, the form changes into another form, transformation, that is spermatids to sperms. So to control one embryonic tissue which controls the growth and development of another, it is called as induction. Question number 51. The rate of cleavage in zygote depends upon options 1, amount of yolk, 2, amount of cytoplasm, 3, size of nucleus, 4, all of these. So we are all very well known that the rate of cleavage, that means the division in zygote, depends on amount of yolk. So the rate may increase or decrease, that is depends on the amount. If it is more amount is present, rate becomes slow down due to the more amount. The rate of cleavage is very high, not less, very high in human because of absence of yolk, the division. And in megalecythal, that means the egg with more yolk. So the rate of cleavage is less due to the more amount of yolk. So the correct answer is option 1. So the rate of cleavage, it is depends on the amount of yolk. Question number 52. In humans, the fetus has 4 extra embryonic membranes, 2 has developed organs and is recognizably human after first trimester, is third one is dependent upon the placenta for excretion of waste and acquisition of nutrients. For all of these are correct. So fetus, so after third month of pregnancy, the embryo is considered as the fetus. So fetus is defined as, so after third month of pregnancy or 12 weeks, the embryo is considered as fetus. So this embryo is surrounded by 4 extra embryonic membranes, that is chorion, amnion, allantois, egg sac. So it is correct. Next, fetus has developed organs because after third month, that means by the third month, almost all major organs are developed and they are recognized after first trimester. That means first 3 months are considered as the first trimester. So that's why it is also a correct. Now is dependent upon the placenta for secretion. So placental formation is takes place in the third month. Placenta takes place in the third month. So now depending upon the placenta for excretion as well as acquisition of nutrients. So to get the nutrients from the mother, it is also a correct. So the correct answer is all of the statements are correct. Fourth is the option. Question number 53. The correct match is A. Microlethal egg, B. Mesolethal eggs, C. Macrolethal, D. Isolethal egg. So here next column 1 Dipnoi petromyzon, 2 Amphioxus, 3 Eutherian mammals, 4 reptiles and birds. So let's see that reptiles and birds here, and it is a macrolethal eggs. So that means C, the microlethal egg is matches with that reptiles and birds. That is C is 4. Next, come to the another matching. So that is microlethal eggs up here. A microlethal egg. So that is we can found in the Amphioxus. Microlethal egg we can found in Amphioxus. Next, mesolethal eggs. Mesolethal eggs. Mesolethal egg. So that is we can observe in Dipnoi and Petromyzon. Dipnoi fishes, lungfishes, dipnoi, and Petromyzon. Mesolethal, that means moderate amount of yolk is present. So already we are given macrolethal, that is reptiles and birds. Then come to the isolethal, isolethal eggs. So that is we can observe in Eutherian, isolethal or alethal eggs are present in the Eutherian mammal. So by observing the color lining, we can find that A is 2 Amphioxus, B mesolethal egg dipnoi 1. Macrolethal egg. C. 4. D. Isolethal egg, that is eutherian mammals. So the correct matching option is 2. Question number 54. The female hormone that causes deposition of fat in the breast and hips as well as growth of pubic hair during puberty is options: luteinizing hormone, 2. Follicle stimulating hormone, 3. Estrogen, 4. Progesterone. So now let's see that causes deposition of fat in breast, that means development of mammary gland, hip as well as growth of pubic hair. These are all secondary sexual characters. So what are the characters mentioned in the question? They are considered as secondary sexual characters. Sexual characters. Secondary sexual characters. All, that is a deposition of fat in breast, in hip, as well as development or growth of pubic hair. These are all secondary sexual characters. So luteinizing hormone, we know that LH is helpful for the ovulation, releasing of ovum. Follicle stimulating hormone, this is helpful for development of follicle development. And progesterone, it is active at the time of pregnancy. Pregnancy hormone. So the remaining estrogen is responsible for the development of secondary sexual characters. So the correct answer is 3, option 3. Question number 55. The acrosome of a sperm contains options: 1. Hydrolytic enzymes, 2. DNA, 3. Mitochondria, 4. Fructose. So among these four options, the DNA is present in nucleus. It is present in the nucleus of sperm. Nucleus of sperm. And this fructose, it is present in the semen or seminal plasma produced by the glands, accessory glands. Semen consists this fructose. And the mitochondria is present in the middle piece. Middle piece consists this mitochondria. So the remaining one, hydrolytic enzymes which are present in the acrosome. The correct answer is option 1. Question number 56. The first block to polyspermy develops in response to the options: 1. Opening of sodium gates in plasma membrane, 2. Release of binding, 3. Spreading of fertilization cone around the egg, 4. Formation of fertilization membrane. The first block to the polyspermy. So first of all, know about this polyspermy. So polyspermy means entering more than one sperm into the egg is called as polyspermy. So polyspermy, entry of more than one sperm into egg is called as polyspermy. So the first block to this polyspermy develops due to the, so let's see that, due to the opening of sodium gates. That is the correct answer. Option 1 is the correct answer. Let's go for that explanation. Sodium plus ion concentration is higher outside the cell than inside. So sodium ions flow down their gradient into the egg and the plasma membrane depolarized. This depolarization causes the first block of the polyspermy. Depolarization. So we are already, you may studied this depolarization mechanism during nerve impulse, transmission of nerve impulse in 21st chapter in the first PUC. Depolarization. So that means due to the presence of ion. So in our body, intercellular cations are sodium. Intercellular, that means the present between the cells, outside the cell, or extracellular cation, sodium ions. Intracellular cations are potassium ions, and anions in our body are the chloride ions or the anions. So now the sodium ions are present outside the cell and their concentration is more outside than inside. So when sodium ions flow gradient into the egg, so it starts to enter inside. As a result, it develops depolarization. So that means, for example, if it is a egg membrane, so outside plus ions, that means sodium ions are more outside this membrane. So now when they are moving towards, when the positive ions are more on outside, inside it consists negative ions are more. When it starts to move inside towards the egg, then the charge is depolarized. So this positive charge neutralizes the more negative charge inside the cytoplasm of the egg. The depolarization, that neutralizing that charge inside the cytoplasm of egg, leads to the first block to the polyspermy. Question number 57. The slow block to polyspermy develops in response to options: opening of sodium gates in the plasma membrane, 2. Release of fertilin, 3. Spreading of a fertilization cone around the egg, 4. Formation of fertilization membrane. So already the first option we discussed in the question number 56, that is opening of sodium gates leads to the first block to the polyspermy. That means very quickly it prevents the entry of that pollen. So the slow block, slowly that block of the polyspermy block the entry of more than one sperm. That process occurred very slow during formation of fertilization membrane. So that is fourth option is correct. The formation, that means preventing the entry of more than one sperm, it occurs very fast due to depolarization of the ions in the cytoplasm of egg. That indicate, that means sodium gates are open. Sodium ions when comes into the egg, then depolarization will take place. That is first process to prevent the entry of more than one sperm. But slow process, it is formation of fertilization membrane prevents the polyspermy. This statement we are studied in our theory part. So the correct answer is 4. Question number 58. The first extra embryonic membrane to make its appearance in the mammals is option 1 allantois, 2 amnion, 3 yolk sac, 4 chorion. So all these 4 are the extra embryonic membranes. All are already it is given in question, that is extra embryonic membranes, all 4. So among these 4 embryonic membranes, the first formed one, appear one is amnion is appears first. So correct answer is option 2. Question number 59. What structure serves as a lung, digestive tract and kidney for the developing embryo? So options are 1 liver, 2 amnion, 3 placenta, 4 endometrium. So now let's see that what structures serves as a lung. First we need to know that what is that functions of that. So lung, the major function of the lung is exchange of gases. Exchange of gases. That is one function. And next come to the digestive tract, that is nutrition. Digestive tract. So that is related to the nutrition. And next one is kidney. So the major function of kidney is removal of waste. Removal of waste. So all these 3 functions are performed by placenta. So placenta acts as a lung, digestive tract and kidney because of these functions. So the correct option is 3. Question number 60. How old is the embryo when most of its organs are formed? So the question is clear. When the most of the organs are formed in embryo, what is its age? So the most of the organs, the major organs in the embryo formed by 12th week of pregnancy. All the major organs are formed. So 12th week is nothing but 3rd month. So the correct answer is option 1 is the option 1 is correct one. So here it is the entire key for this 30 questions, and its options are given in this tabular form. Once check it all your answers properly. Thank you students. So we will meet again in the next week.